Hello, story lovers. I have a question for you. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you loved so much that you had a strong urge to take their lives? If your answer is yes, it is absolutely okay to feel that way, and I'm glad that you held yourself back and resisted the urge. However, I beckon you to come closer and listen to the story of Feyi, who had this same urge to kill her lover who betrayed her and broke her completely. Did she end up giving in to her urge, or did she let go of her pain and forgive? Grab a seat and let's find out together. The story started years ago when Feyi gained admission to study financial accounting in the university. She met her lover, whose name was Femi, when she was just a fresher. While Femi was a 400 level law student of that same school. They were both from poor backgrounds, but they fell deeply in love with each other. Their relationship wasn't up to 6 months when Feyi moved into Femi's little apartment, which was a single room, popularly known as "Face Me, I Slap You," to live as campus couples. They did everything together, and their love felt too good to be true. Like I said, they were both from poor backgrounds, but Femi was poorer. His father worked as a laborer while his mom was a petty trader. Feyi's parents, on the other hand, were doing better financially. When Feyi moved into Femi's apartment, his rent was already 3 months due, but Feyi sorted the bills with the money she was given by her parents for her own accommodation. Barely a month of living together, Feyi took in. The news of her pregnancy felt like a hard punch on Femi's face. "This is not the right time to get pregnant, Feyi. You know our condition. Why will you get pregnant at this time?" he said. Feyi said no word, but tears were starting to build up in her eyes. Femi couldn't look at her. He was so confused and felt like his head would blow off. He wanted to console her, but he couldn't. He pitied her and himself. After a silence that seemed like forever, he blurted out all of a sudden, "We are terminating this pregnancy." His words felt like a sharp knife piercing into Feyi's heart. She looked at him with her red eyes swollen from crying and said, "You want me to terminate my first pregnancy? Femi, I can never and will never do that." Immediately she finished talking, Femi fell on his knees and begged her. He cried and held her legs, pleading, "Please, I beg you, we need to remove this baby. If you have a child now, my future will be destroyed. I have only a year left to graduate." He kept on begging her for hours till she agreed and decided to get rid of the pregnancy. I know you will start thinking that Femi started misbehaving after the pregnancy, but no, he didn't. Their love grew stronger instead, or should I say that the display of their love became more obvious. You will be surprised to find out that Feyi got pregnant again 6 months later, but they had to terminate the pregnancy again. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I urge you to do so. Thank you so much for your support. Things continued the way they were, and when Femi entered 500 level, his father died, leaving his mother to shoulder the responsibility of paying his tuition fees. The poor woman tried her best and sent a quarter of the fees, but it wasn't enough. Feyi, who just entered 200 level, hasn't paid her school fees either, and the deadline was approaching. Every midnight, Feyi would hear Femi sobbing quietly and praying desperately to God to send him a helper, but she could do nothing to console him. A day to the payment deadline, Feyi's parents sent her tuition fees after hustling really hard, but she gave the money to Femi instead to complete his school fees. Femi's joy knew no bounds as he collected the money from her and promised to take good care of her and pamper her like a princess when he becomes rich. Feyi was very happy with all Femi had said and applied for a leave of absence for a year so as not to forfeit her studentship. Femi graduated from school while Feyi waited another year to continue as a 200 level student. Should I say Feyi was blinded by love or stupidly in love? When the next session began for her to be in 200 level, it happened to be the same time that Femi went to law school. She innocently gave him her school fees again to pay as part of his tuition fees, while she remained in 100 level, unable to move forward, while her parents thought that their daughter would be graduating anytime soon. When Femi entered the law school, their communication started to reduce day by day. Feyi, being an understanding girlfriend, didn't complain till she found out that she was pregnant again. I know you said "ha" again. Me too. I am saying the same thing. Likewise, Femi. "Ha again? Are you a pig, Feyi?" Femi shouted at her over the phone. Please, you will have to get rid of that pregnancy," he said, and hung up on her without bothering to hear her answer. Feyi called him back immediately, but he refused to pick up. This went on for days. He refused to pick his calls and ignored all her messages. Feyi didn't know what to do again and decided to abort the pregnancy. This time around, it was so excruciating and she bled for 3 weeks. At some point, she thought she would die. She tried reaching out to Femi, but his lines were unreachable. 6 months later, her phone rang and the caller was Femi. "Hi babe, how have you been? I'm sorry my phone got stolen," Femi said over the phone. "How are you doing and how is my baby?" Feyi was silent for a while and finally said, "I am fine, but I aborted the baby." As she said this, she started to cry. Femi consoled her and assured her of his love to her. After talking for long, he asked her where she was working. "I am working as a sales girl in a big supermarket," Feyi answered. "I need to work and survive since school is now over for me." Femi consoled her again with sweet words, and then again they started their love afresh. Femi would call her every day and act all nice and sweet to her. His actions made Feyi fall harder for him once again. 3 months into talking over the phone, Femi asked Feyi to lend him a huge amount of money, nothing less than 5 million. He said, "You know that it isn't good to rely on one's certificate alone for job. I want to start a business and it is a very good one. I promise to repay you within 3 months." Feyi thought about it for days and decided to take a loan for him. Since he is a lover, he will pay back as he has promised. She got him the 5 million he requested for and wished him well. To her surprise, 1 week after sending him the money, his lines became unreachable again. This broke Feyi completely. She would cry every day, even at her workplace. People knew something was wrong with her. She was no longer herself. This affected her performance at work that she got sacked. Her life became so miserable and she became a shadow of herself. After months of brokenness, she picked herself up and decided to start something with her life to get out of her debts. So she started working as a washwoman. She washed clothes to the extent that her fingers bled. One day while washing at her customer's house, who happened to be a student, she overheard her talking to another student about a wedding that took place over the weekend. Feyi didn't pay much attention to them until she heard the name Femi Akoni. Her mind blew off. She thought she had heard it wrong. She moved close to the girls and requested to see the wedding pictures. Lo and behold, it was her Femi. "I am finished." That was all she could say before she dropped on her knees and went blank. The news of Femi getting married plunged her into an unimaginable sorrow. She nearly ran mad and sought to seek revenge. For months, she traced him and found where he lived. By then, his wife was already pregnant. Should I say luck shone on her as she applied to be a house help at Femi's house? Femi was out of the country, so his wife Abigail employed her without his knowledge. Feyi displayed her best behavior and soon became close to Abigail. One day, when Abigail was in a good mood, she asked her, "How did you and Oga Femi meet?" Abigail didn't hesitate to answer her and innocently told her of her love story. "I met Femi at law school. He was on my neck for weeks, but I didn't look at his side because I felt he probably loved me because I'm from a wealthy home. But I realized that he was nothing but a sweet soul. He even told me of his girlfriend that left him just because he had no money." When she said this, Feyi was shocked that she didn't know when she shouted, "That's not true." "What is not true?" Abigail asked her. Feyi realized and quickly covered up with a lie. Abigail went on to tell her about how Femi went out of his way to take her out of the country to celebrate her birthday. When Feyi calculated the time of the travel, it fell at the same time Femi had borrowed the 5 million from her. She became restless and bitter, and her quest for revenge increased. She told herself that she had nothing to lose now. Her life is already messed up. Revenge was the only option for her. The night that Femi came back home, Feyi cooked a very delicious meal for the couples and served it on the dining table. She secretly watched as Femi was acting all lovey-dovey with his wife when he arrived. She felt her heart break once again, but she was ready to get her revenge. She pretended to be purging to avoid Femi till he started eating with his wife. Halfway down the food, the couple started feeling sharp pains in their tummy. As their groans of pain reached Feyi's ears, she came out of her room and presented herself to Femi. So you think you can live a happy life after destroying mine? She asked as she walked up to Femi. Femi was beyond shocked when he set his eyes on Feyi. Amidst his pain, he asked, Feyi, what are you doing here? How did you get here? Feyi laughed at his questions, while Abigail looked surprised and confused, but was in so much pain that she couldn't utter a word. Feyi narrated everything that had happened between her and Femi to Abigail. Before she finished her story, Abigail was in tears as she begged for her life, claiming to be innocent. But Feyi ignored her and continued, Femi, I lost my womb because of you, but you are happy that you will have a child soon. Maybe you will have it in your grave. I gave you everything I had, but look at how you repaid me. Femi and Abigail kept on begging for their lives, but she turned deaf ears to their pleas and watched them struggle in pain till they took in their last breath. After she confirmed that they were dead, she brought out a knife and stabbed herself in the chest. Her last words were, the fight continues in hell. Thank you for watching. Kindly like, comment and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe.